Here's the Swan 500C to 7954 finals. This is my second attempt at this conversion. Well, the first attempt was on a Swan 700 CX and it did succeed. That got sold off to a guy named Wayne. I guess he's happy with it. Anyway, so I've had the Swan 500C here laying around and I thought I would attempt the same conversion with it. So there's the Swan 500C. I did procure more sockets in 7854 tubes, Amperex tubes, to put in the Swan 500C. This thing had questionable final tubes in it, so I just didn't want to overpay for more finals. So anyway, these went in. So I can explain now how this works a bit. It's not real difficult. You can follow along with the original Swan diagram, which I'll post up on my screen here to show how this thing works. I'm just arranging my screen right now to get it working here for you. That's not going so well. Anyway, I find my Mac computer is just not the best sometimes. Okay. Yeah, they have this thing. I put this into a PDF form, the schematic for the 700, and geez, just to zoom this thing, it gets all screwed up. And then the controls disappear. There they are, right there. I wish I had the plus sign here still. I'm not sure why this has to be different, but okay, here's the finals here. Gonna zoom some more. There we are, and all I had to really do was copy the original 8950 pinout to the new 7854 tube pinout to make this work. So anyway, I can then go along. So it's important in best practice to always ground the cathode RF with a capacitor. So they've done that here. They have some 1 ohm resistors here, which are basically a half ohm because these are in parallel, and that gives the cathode a way to ground, and plus it will produce a voltage across this capacitor, which is measured by the plate current meter or the anode current meter. So that will give you the plate current or anode current on these tubes. Here's the grid feeding the tube, the RF. This is actually the bias, and this is the RF coming in. This is going to be minus, I don't know, 40 or something when it's all adjusted. Here's the screen grid, and of course they ground that with a capacitor. Screen grid is fed in parallel. Here are the plates. Those aren't connected yet on my rendition here. Anyway, now we can go through these pins and how they're connected down here. So this tube, basically the 7854, is basically two tubes in one. Each tube inside of here basically looks like one of these right here, as far as the grids and the plate and the cathode or anode. So that's how that works out. So on these tubes you have control grids on pin number, I think that's 6. And going out on 2. So these are control grids. So I'm feeding in here with a 0.002 capacitor, the way it was before, into the control grid and across. The bias comes in through here, through this choke, goes to the center here, which is what it did before. And then here are the 1 ohm resistors grounding the cathodes, and they use 2 of them. I mean, you don't need to use 2 of them, but I guess for symmetry I did, and maybe for parasitic elimination. So these have capacitors and resistor 1 ohm in parallel and grounded. This is the screen, and it also has a capacitor grounding it. So each screen was fed through a 100 ohm resistor, and I've copied that here on the screens. This is a cathode, basically common return. So yeah, cathode's 1 ohm to ground. And then there's like a cathode metering wire, which had a resistor. I'm not sure why I had a resistor, but I took the resistor out and just jumped it here. So we'll see how that works. And that's really all there is to this. The heater's 12-volt heater wire comes in from the power supply, and it's going across here. And then the ground wire for the heaters is here. And that's all there is to this. So we'll see if it works. I'm going to make a power cord for this. I got a plug coming in today. I have a Jones plug coming in for a power cord for this. And I have an actual cord coming in that goes to a power supply. I'm going to try and use a Tempo Power 1 power supply on this rig and see how it works out. All right, so lots of changes, lots of risk, but we'll see if it plays. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.